I really like this over 2.5 minutes of control time. That's a nice pick six one right there. That might be one of my favorite.
Under 34.5 significant strikes, he could win really efficiently.
Round one win.
You know, I think this fight could last. So I like the over in this fight, Dan. I think most people think Vallejos is going to get it done inside the distance. I kind of like the over for pick six. I like one of my favorite pick sixes on the board. And it's, you brought up the reason why, but Zaleski Dos Santos less than 52.5 strikes. There's multiple paths where this happens. First of all, he's kind of low volume anyways, with all the movement and everything he does in the cage. And then you've got Neil Magny, who wants to hold you against the cage and like slow you down. And then you've also got the fact that Neil Magny's been finished early in his last two fights. So any of those things can get us under this number. This is my favorite fight here. I like Rimovic's significant strikes over in pick six. I know 89.5, 3-round fight. It sounds like a lot, but it's kind of more the style of both these guys and the fact that I think they're both super tough. We could see a war here. One of my other favorite pick six, Tatsuro Taira under on significant strikes. There's just so many paths for him to get there. Even in 5 rounds, that's how little this dude likes to throw. He is getting to his grappling, and that's what he wants to do. Yes, sir. That was the pick six winner from last week. Gave it out on the show. Gave out a bunch of winners on the show. We had 2 best bets. Both hit last week, me and Dan, plus the pick six. Gave out a bunch of pick six winners. Hopefully, some of you guys tailed. I also tweeted it out too. Dropped it in the Run Pure Sports Discord. So I know some people tailed. Appreciate everyone that watched last week. And we're going to try and go back-to-back this week, or at least that's the goal anyways, Dan.
Yeah, let's do it. Man, starting off the show watching Neil Magny get the ground and pound finish. I'm ready to run through a brick wall, dude. Our guy Neil Magny coming through for us big last week.
Yep, that was your best bet was Neil Magny.
I was ready to send old Neil to the glue factory at the beginning of this fight. I was just like, I don't know what I was thinking with this. Like, get Neil Magny out of here. And then he did that. Like,
isn't it the worst when you're like, oh, I'm dead, and then like but then you like come back, and then you're like, oh, thank God I'm not that dead, and then he just comes alive and finishes like that. It's so good.
There's no better feeling than having your guys kind of come back.
Such a good. And then that's what it was. My guy Austin Bashi by submission and under. I think I said 2.5, but you could go to the 1.5, and he made that look nice and easy. We got another first round finisher. I think I've got back-to-back first round finishes my last 2 fights. I know we're 6 of 7 in our last 7 best bets on the show. We are 6 of 7.
Oh, shit. So, which one did we miss?
Not Jose Ochoa was money line was, I think, the only one we missed. And because you and JBC, the show I was away, just both gave Max Holloway. So I say 6 of 7, but like, you know, either way, we're rolling on these best bets. We're rolling on these best bets. So that's what matters. And hopefully we'll continue the train here. Obviously talking fight night, DOLIDZE and Hernandez here. We're going to break everything down from a DFS and a betting perspective, plus some little pick six as we go through each fight. 12 fights on this card for UFC. Lock is at 4 p.m. Eastern time, so a little earlier than normal. So make sure you guys get that in here and hit the like button on the video. If you enjoy free winners or just the free show in general, hit that thumbs up on the show and subscribe to the channel because we have all different sports shows all throughout the day for all different sports every day. So make sure you stay on this channel for other DFS sports. And also, I just want to remind people, anyone interested in NFL preseason, we do have single sport and full packages up for NFL. So if you're waiting to join us for football season is here. Preseason has already started, and the packages are live. If you have any questions on the packages, let me know. Shoot me a DM on Twitter or in the Discord. You can shoot info@RunPureSports in email as well if you have any issues with signing up or any questions just in general with the packages. All right, that's going to do it here. Let's get to the card.
Real quick. Speaking of NFL, Tanner McKee, QB1?
I don't know. Is he better than Jalen Hurts? Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't know. There might be a QB controversy in Philadelphia.
Oh, geez. I think what would be so great is if like Philadelphia somehow like got a team to like give them a second round pick or a first round pick for McKee. I could totally see how he just like doing something like that. The guy just always seems to win those type of scenarios. So I could totally see him just winning on something like that.
I remember years ago, there was a quote that came out of like the Eagles organization about them wanting to be a QB factory, and everybody trashed them for it. And now look at them. They are a QB factory.
You know, I bring up one thing about NFL, and I totally blanked on the fact that Dan is a diehard Eagles fan. And so on these MMA shows, we will end up talking about the Eagles probably on a week-to-week basis based off of how it's going for the Eagles fans. So I can't wait for this NFL season where we just slob all over the Eagles again. It's going to be my nightmare. And I see K Reed already in the chat talking about the Eagles. They're the best two quarterbacks in the league. All right, K Reed, relax. Put your pants on. Let's go. We got fights to talk about. Yeah, Angela Hill going to wreck Lucindo. There we go. Slap shot. I like that. So yeah, let's see what we got. AJ, I knew that shit was going to hit last. AJ, we were on it last week, man. We were on it. So hopefully you guys got that in there.
The Vallejo's fade was nice. I was just like, I was running sets and, I just keep running. Then I pick one. And the one I happened to pick, I didn't realize till after lock. I was like, oh, cool. 10% Kevin Vallejo. So I was like, well, here we go. I didn't intend to fade him that hard, but it worked out. Yeah.
I faded him just based off the fact that Danny Silva was just, I thought he was a tough dude and I thought he could hang in there. And if there's not a finish and we don't see as much grappling, then you're not probably scoring well on DraftKings. You know what I mean? Even the Rimovich fight, which I like, Dan, those guys went to war and he only scored 80 in a win. And he had 100 and he had a zillion significant strikes in a 3-round fight and 300 total. And he only scored 80. So
yeah, we talk about it all the time. It's just striking is very rarely going to get you there unless you're like a Josh Van or Max Holloway type, or you've got 5 rounds to work. It's just not going to get there. You're going to need knockouts, extra stats. So I saw people talking about stacking that fight as well. It's just I'm never gonna stack a fight in general, but especially not these striking battles, especially not a 3-round striking battle.
Yeah, it just shows how much on DraftKings you gotta favor the wrestler grapplers. If that fight didn't show it to you in general, you know what I mean? That was an absolute war. You couldn't have asked almost any more outside of getting the late finish, right, Dan? That's really it. Outside of getting the earlier late finish. You couldn't have asked anything more from your fighters, and he scored 80. So, obviously it's just, stacking fights like that is just, it's not a good idea. Just in general, it's not a good idea. I get it more from the 5-round perspective, right, Dan? Because if you get a war and 5 rounds, if that was a 5-round fight, Dan, both guys would have had a shot, that for sure. But it wasn't, so... Oh man, if that fight was 5 rounds, that would have been amazing. Those are the fights we need for 5 rounds, Dan. Those are we need select fights. Fans choose a select fight that's not the main fight to be a 5-rounder. And it's they UFC purposely puts on certain fights where they have a wrestler versus a striker but then they also put on fights where they're okay, we've got striker versus striker, like favorable fights for each guy. And it's like, those are the fights where they just end up being wars.
I needed another 2 rounds of the Rubeski fight.
Oh my God. His eye was so bad. That was crazy. Yeah. That was another war.
He takes so much damage, man, and he like does not wear it well. I was actually pretty tilted that they didn't stop that fight sooner. Like when they started the 3rd round, I was like, come on, man. Or
I thought they could have stopped the fight for sure sooner. Like they could have easily done that. I mean, I get it. You wanna, that guy was in the fight too. Like, it's not like it was a close fight. You know what I mean? And Duncan deserved to win, but I'm with you. I thought they should have stopped it, to be honest with you.
Stopped for less. Yeah, they stopped it. Okay, they stopped it between the 2nd and 3rd round.
Yeah, Brenner was fading, but Rimovic's, like, his shots were like, they didn't have as much like sting on it, as they were both exhausted pretty much. Like, yeah, Rimovic's was fading less, I guess, but they were both really exhausted.
I totally misremembered. They didn't stop the Duncan Rubeski fight at all. That went to decision.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying they should have stopped the fight in before the 3rd round started. Like the 3rd round started, that was the question mark, right? Like after the 2nd round, he sat down and I'm like, okay, they should stop the fight. Like, I get it. Like, they should stop it. They didn't stop the fight. They let him fight with one eye. He was like, I'm good. Like, you know what I mean? He was like, I'm good. And then they let him fight. So
he's a warrior.
Yeah, he's a warrior.
Two fight. I mean, neither of these are going to be fight of the year, obviously. But like we've had like multiple weeks with like fight of the year contenders. Guys have been throwing down lately. Yeah. It's been great.
Love it.
It would have been nice if last week was in front of some people, not in an empty warehouse. But you know,
what are you gonna do? It was fine for my viewing pleasure. I enjoyed it. So, but yeah, it would have been cool if it was somewhere else.
I had a good old time.
All right, Dan, let's get to the 12 fight card here. Like I said, hit the like button on the video if you enjoy this video, and subscribe to the Run Pure Sports YouTube channel. First fight on the card: Cody Brundage and Eric McConaughey. McConaughey a plus 160 underdog. Brundage a minus 192 favorite on DraftKings Sportsbook right now. Both of them with the friendly 8,200 8K price tags, Dan, on DraftKings DFS. Brundage being just a tad more expensive. But, man, Cody Brundage is close to a 2-1. Is very interesting here. This fight got put together kind of all of a sudden. But, you know, I think we do see a fight where it probably goes under 1.5. Like both these guys, like all of a sudden they're fighting each other. I think that the way Brundage fights anyways, I would throw last fight out, because last fight he was fighting someone who was just an absolute monster, and he was trying to fight smart. I don't know if he's going to fight McConaughey the same way. I think he's going to be a lot more aggressive. I don't think he's going to be afraid as much of what's coming at him, because I don't think McConaughey is that super skilled. So I think it's more of a quicker fight than what we saw last time out, which, by the way, they made a decision after, you know, the ruling and everything like that. It was a decision ruling for Cody Brundage. Still a loss, but yeah. So I think,
right?
What's up?
I think it got changed to a draw. Yeah, it's a majority draw.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's what I meant. It was a decision. It got changed to a majority draw. That's what I meant, because I wanted to say something to Big T, who is probably out there listening. Fucking suck it, okay? Majority draw, suck it. I got so much shit because I picked a plus 500 underdog or whatever Cody Brundage was. I got so much shit from Big T. Majority draw. You fuck. All right, back to this card. Before I get too sidetracked here, I'm gonna take Cody Brundage. I think for DFS purposes, you should want this fight. It's a really good price fight for DFS. I think it finishes early, under 1.5. And honestly, finding dogs on this card with like the finishing upside, of Cody, like there's just not many, you know what I mean? In the price tag, like Cody Brundage, even though he's a favorite, he's 300 more than Angela Hill, who is what's she like 15-1 to win inside the distance stand, 18-1. I don't even know, but it's like something like that. And
Yeah,
Cody Brundage has a KO line of like plus 130. So, you know, I got to jam this fight.
Yeah, this is I'm going in on this fight. I mean, Brundage is infuriating because he just keeps avoiding losing in the stupidest ways. Like every time this guy fights, it's an absolute train wreck. But I'm going to be playing both sides of this fight and hoping for violence because, you know, Brundage, he's a trash bag. He's a quitter. There aren't enough like bad things I could say about this guy, but he's at least going to like move forward and throw bombs and try to knock McConaughey out. And McConaughey has been knocked out in his last 3 losses. So minus 135 inside the distance at 8,200. Like you have to play that. So I'm just going to hold my nose, you know, and play him. And then on the other side with McConaughey, like Brundage doesn't exactly have rock solid durability either. I don't really think much of McConaughey, like you said. Like I don't think he's really that talented. This fight got thrown together kind of at the last minute, so we would have a 12-fight card. But I'm going to play him regardless because, you know, Brundage can be knocked out. His inside the distance line is, I believe, it was plus 275, which isn't nearly as good as Brundage's, but it's still pretty strong for the price. So I'm going to be playing a lot of this fight and just hoping for violence.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm doing. From a pick six perspective, Dan, I did throw a pick six in our Run Pure Sports Discord yesterday, and dropped a couple pick sixes in the DraftKings Discord as well for anyone in there. But one of the picks I did have was Cody Brundage. Now the significant strike line did move a little bit. It was 16.5 yesterday when I got it. It's now up to 19.5. I still think the more is probably the right way to go if I was picking. Because like I said, I don't think he's going to be afraid of what's coming back at him with McConaughey. So I think he gets over this line. You're literally just worried about, you know, like a very quick finish. But, you know, even then he might just like, it might just be like volume that gets him there, you know, and he gets like 20 something strikes in like a quick win. So I still like the more. Do you see anything? I mean, there's not much else. It's just really the significant strikes. So,
I could definitely see more on Brundage. I mean, but obviously the downside there is if McConaughey just gets folded immediately, which I can see.
Right.
Yeah, I don't love it. I mean, let's just keep that. Let's keep the over sort of like on our mind.
We'll think about it. We'll think about it as we go through. I will say though, McConaughey has shown that he's somewhat. I will say I'll give him credit. I think he's more durable than we think. Remember his last fight, kind of his first fight, they threw him to the wolves. They gave him Ruzaboyev, who's just the beast and has big power, and he still got to the second round with him. You know what I mean? Like, but you know, so I do think like Cody Brundage isn't that dangerous. He's not Ruzaboyev type dangerous. Like, so, you know, this is definitely different. And that's why I'm thinking like he's going to be able to, I don't think Cody Brundage is going out there and just one punch or two, 3 punches and just finishing this dude that quick. I don't think it's like that. Ruzaboyev didn't do that. So
you're selling me on the over here. That's a pretty low.
Yeah, it's pretty low. That's all I'm going to say. We'll think about it though. I'm going to click it right now. We'll think about it though for our complete pick six here. Anything else, Dan? Question in the chat. Dan, what's the percentage on Brundage to Monaco? What do you think you're doing? Are you going like 50-50? Are you going to be higher on one side? What are you doing?
Yeah, let's see what I got for ownership here. Okay, ownership. I've got Brundage at 29%, McConaughey at 22%. I'm going to be coming in over on that for Brundage, probably around like mid-30s to probably like low 40s. And then McConaughey, I'll probably have him around the 20s, like where he's projected to come in at. Because I don't think he's going to win, but I think the most likely outcome for McConaughey is probably a later round finish, just because Brundage does tend to like really slow down later in the fight, and he'll give up if things aren't going his way. So, you know, round 3 at 8K might not get you there, but I'm still going to play some. I'm still going to play a lot of this fight.
Our boy Cape Alex Burner, he said Brundage exactly where he belongs, in the apex. So
yeah, dude. Yeah, there's never been a more.
I got a question, Dan. Is he the most hated fighter on the UFC roster?
Oh, maybe. I mean,
seriously, from like he's got to be up there.
Yeah, he's got to be. I mean, especially amongst like gamblers and DFS players.
That's what I meant. Like, yeah, in our circle
that he's in. I think he's hilarious, and I also bet him.
I do too. I kind of like him, honestly. I know people hate on him. I kind of like. It's like, dude, most of his fights were getting like war, unless there's like a DQ or just the random outlier last fight, which I think was last fight. Yeah, the correct answer is yes. The boy said so. Yeah, most people top 3.
I'm generally pro chaos, especially when it comes to cage fighting. So, like, you know, it's
that's what I'm saying. I'm pro chaos too.
You got to know what you're getting into. I feel like people get upset at Cody Brundage fights, but at this point, it's like, you know what you've signed up for. Like, something stupid is probably going to happen.
Yes, exactly. That's why we're saying, though, let's jam this fight and hopefully something stupid happens one way or another.
something stupid that results in somebody ending up unconscious. That's what.
Correct. Yes, exactly. Or sleeping, one or the other. Just like sleeping or unconscious, whatever. I don't care. Just put them to sleep or knock them out. I don't give a shit.
However you do it.
All right. Let's go to the next fight. By the way, Cody Brundage now minus 205 on DraftKings Sportsbook. So the line just line keeps moving in Cody's favor, which is interesting. But next fight here, we've got Gabriela Fernandez 8,800 on DraftKings versus Julia Stoliarenko. Stoliarenko 7,400. Gabby Fernandez, a minus 425 favorite on DraftKings Sportsbook. Stoliarenko sitting plus 330. I mean, this fight, I think, is like extremely cut and dry. Fernandez is the better all-around fighter. Stoliarenko is kind of a one-trick pony, right? If she gets you to the ground and she can implement her grappling, she is really good and she can submit you for sure. She looks to go for that arm bar whenever possible. So you got to be, worrying about where your arms are on the ground at all times and not giving her a shot at jumping for that arm bar because she will jump for it. But if you can stop that, you can really just pick her apart and really do what you want. You know what I mean? And I think that's probably what Gabriela Fernandez does. I mean, like, she's very, she takes her time. She's not going to like force things. I think she's going to methodically just kind of pick her apart, stop the takedowns early. And, she's got power for lower level, I would say, women's MMA. Like, she's got power. She's got nice kicks to the midsection. And, she does throw straight and with power. So, I like her. I think she could get the finish, Dan. I don't think it's a quick finish, though. And I don't know if she's going to get, like, massive volume. But I could see a second or third round KO for Fernandez. So I got to look at that. Well, I got to look at what those odds are. But while I look at that, oh, here it is. So round 2, she's plus 500 by KO. And round 3, she's 10-1. I don't mind those odds. I could see her getting a second or third round finish there. So I like Fernandez to win. I think from DFS side, though, there's probably better plays in her range.
Yeah, there's probably better plays in her range on paper, but she is going to be the lowest owned option along with CLD. And I think I probably prefer her to CLD just because she's in a really good matchup. Stoliarenko is basically armbar or bust. And if she's not getting an earlier armbar, she's going to try for the armbar and she's probably going to end up on her back. And Fernandez is probably going to ground and pound the shit out of her because that's how Stoliarenko loses. She tries to snatch up your arm. And if she doesn't, then she's just there to be ground and pounded. So I think she can survive. Obviously, second, third round finish here is not ideal. If you're playing her, you want the first round finish, but she's got a pretty good round one number, plus 235, which for a women's fight, that's a solid round one number. That's about like 30% probability. So she's going to be one of these lower owned options up here. And you touched on it before. The dogs are really, really pretty bad on this slate. They're like really shaky, and kind of the better dogs, the ownership is going to be there. So I think on this slate, I'm mostly going to be eating the chalk when it comes to dogs and trying to get different at the top. And Fernandez fits that bill perfectly. She's not the most skilled, but
no,
it's really just about her opponent. And she's super athletic. She's really strong, and she's got really solid power. I mean, you saw it when she clubbed and subbed Wang Kong, huge upset victory. I think this line is a little bit of an overreaction to that. I think it's a bit wide.
I mean, it's definitely wide. It's definitely wide. But
I like Fernandez as a pivot up top, for sure.
I will say I did pick her to beat and own Wang Kong. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dan. I do think, though, the under on significant strikes, if I was to pick a play, would be my play. Because like I said, I think in the beginning, she's just going to be defending a little bit and staying out at space, at range where she likes to be, because she's got those long kicks and she throws a long straight. Like, so she has the weapons, I think, to just kind of stay at range, slowly pick her apart. And Stoliarenko is going to try and find her way inside. And so she's going to be defending those at first and then looking to finish. So, you know, she does have the power, though, where one or two shots could just finish Stoliarenko anyways, like trying to come in and she just catches her. So I kind of like the under on significant strikes if I was to give a play.
Yeah, Stoliarenko is really, really bad on the feet, man. Like defensively, she's got basically no offense there. So it's a pretty huge mismatch on the feet. I think I like the under there as well.
And from a betting perspective, I am gonna bet Gabrielle like inside the distance. I think she wins inside the distance. So I do like that, but I'll probably be betting the KO number at plus 140 is just so telling when you see Gabrielle Fernandez at that's pretty it's pretty wild. So I do think she gets the finish, though.
I mean, like minus 140 inside the distance for a women's flyweight fight that's crazy.
You don't see that very often, right, Dan?
No, you really don't.
Yeah,
you really don't.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else, or are you good?
Nah, we can move on.
Chat, by the way, just to our old comment about Cody Brundage being the most hated fighter, Dumas was multiple people throwing his name out there, and he should be the most hated fighter on the roster. Is he even on the roster still, Dan?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he needs to go. Like, what are we doing? Like, get him out of there. I don't know why the hell he's on the roster.
We got to cut Jairzinho and Martin Budai, but we got to keep Cedric Dumas around for some fucking reason.
No reason whatsoever. And my boy Don Yeezy, what's up? Stopping to show support. Hit the like button. Appreciate you, Don Yeezy. Hopefully get some winners tonight for the MMA card. Appreciate the like button as always, guys. Let's go to the next fight here. Where are we at here? Urbina and Medic. Gilbert Urbina, 7,300 for Urbina on DraftKings, and Euros Medic, 8,900 for Medic. This is another fight I feel very strongly about, that it's kind of cut and dry. I think Medic is going to have the massive advantage on the feet. And he is super dangerous. His 1 weak spot is his like grappling and wrestling defense. And I think Urbina is going to try and force that. I think he has to. And if you can get Medic in a bad spot where he has to like try and get up because he feels the urgency to get up, he'll give you his back. Like, so Urbina has that opportunity. I've seen him take the back multiple times. He has that in him. He will look for it. So if he can get Medic down, that's his path, in my opinion. So I do think he does as a big dog, Dan, like he's sitting plus 250. I do at least see the path for him, right? I do see him having a massive disadvantage in the striking, but has an advantage in the grappling. If he can get there is the question. If he can't get there, though, I think Medic's going to knock him out in like a minute. So like if he like tries to go for takedowns and just is not successful, I think in the next minute, like Medic finds a shot and just hurts him. Probably a body shot. It's probably going to be a body kick, and it's going to fold him like a lawn chair, and then he's just going to ground and pound his face in until the ref stops it. So I think Medic wins, but don't be afraid to sprinkle a little money on the submission prop. It is plus 550 for Gilbert Urbina. I don't mind that if you want to sprinkle a long shot.
Yeah, Urbina at 7,300. He's now, I've got him as a plus 239 dog. So that's a really good value on the money line there. His inside the distance odds, those would probably come down as well, maybe. They're not great. Yeah, he's plus 479 to win inside the distance, which like isn't particularly strong, but for the price, it's like comparable with Stoliarenko right above him, and it's much better than anybody priced below him. So I don't know. I've got concerns with Urbina when it comes to his durability and his health. He's, multiple long layoffs. It's like I feel like it's probably been a year and a half since the last time we saw him. So I never really loved that, but line's moving toward him. Good value. And like you said, Medic, he's got holes in his grappling, and that's something that Urbina is at least competent in and would be smart to try to exploit. A win for him down here probably scores well, no matter how it comes, really. So I'm going to be playing a lot of Urbina. I'm also going to be playing a lot of Medic because, I already said Urbina, we've got major durability and health concerns with him. So this fight, I think whoever wins is going to win inside. This is the fight. Odds imply it's like the second most likely to end inside the distance. So
yeah, obviously. Medic is plus 140 to win by KO in the first round.
Yeah, really strong. And Urbina is projecting to come in around the same ownership as Stoliarenko, which is kind of wild to me. I would much rather.
What's the ownership, Dan? What are they coming in at?
They're both coming in at like 20, and then you've got Ode Osborne 18, Eric Anders 17. Like I prefer Urbina over pretty much all of them.
Well, I think Urbina and Stoliarenko are very similar in the fact I think they're literally submission or bust. Because if they don't find a submission, I think their opponents are just going to pick them apart and find a shot to put them out on the feet. So
Medic is also like pretty hittable, and he can definitely be hurt and finished as well. So
the problem is Urbina just has nothing. He has no, like, the power difference is going to be insane. Like he has nothing that I think Medic is going to be afraid of on the feet. Like absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's like a very thin additional path, but yeah. If someone hits you in the right spot, you're going down.
Look at his last two. Like Charles Radke finished him early, Urbina, and then the Kosi fight. Oh my God, the Kosi fight that dude's terrible too, and that went to the second round. He did finally find a KO, but
yeah, getting knocked out by Charles Radke is not good because he's pretty small for 170, man. So that's not good.
And he was just unafraid. Charles Radke was just walking for, like he was unafraid of what was coming back. So like Medic, in my mind, is going to do the exact same thing. Like he is not. He's just going to be worried about the takedowns, right? That's like his one hole. So like the one thing he's going to be worried about is like getting taken down. Other than that, I don't think he's worried about anything else coming at him. Do you see any pick sixes or anything you like in this fight?
Pull that one up.
We've got Medic 25.5 significant strikes, Urbina 18.5 significant strikes, Medic 95.5 fantasy points, more or less, Urbina 42.5, and then fight time more than 6.5 minutes. I don't really like anything, to be honest with you.
Nah, me either. I was gonna say, what do we think about Medic significant strikes? I would almost want to go.
That was the only one I was thinking about. It's like I could see him winning though with just one shot,
right?
Like just one shot and it's over. But if I had to pick one, you held my feet to the fire, I would say more on significant strikes, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah. All right. I like it. I like this fight for DFS, though. At least both guys in my mind have a path. So that's always good when you can see both guys having at least some path.
Yeah, I'm gonna be heavy on both sides. Medic is gonna be owned. He's gonna be like 33%. He's one of the higher owned options up here, but I think it's warranted just because, you know, Urbina can be folded and folded quickly.
Yep. All right, I like it. Let's move to the next fight here. Somehow on the app it's different than the the pick six line. But next fight on the board, Jocelyn Edwards minus 395 here. Another big woman's favorite here, Jocelyn Edwards versus Priscilla Cachoeira plus 310 on the money line over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Cachoeira sitting at 7,600 on DK. Edwards 8,600 on DK. Dan, Cachoeira, she's not going to throw a ton of volume at you, but she's got power, which is always good for DFS. Her holes are definitely if you can get her down and finish her. I feel like we have a few of those on this card here, where it's like one has the power advantage, but Jocelyn Edwards has shown in her last few fights that her all-around game has definitely improved. Like, she's showing off more of the wrestling and grappling. She does mix it up in the striking decently well with the low kicks and the hands and stuff. I think she's pretty decent there. So, again, maybe a little wide for the line itself. But if Cachoeira is not finishing Jocelyn Edwards, I think Jocelyn Edwards is winning this fight. She's probably winning the wrestling and grappling exchanges, and she's probably staying away from the power shot and winning the striking. So that's my key. I think Jocelyn Edwards just has it. But for DFS, you can always take a shot on Priscilla because she does have the power to put girls out.
Yeah, you got it exactly right. I don't think I'm going to be getting to Cachoeira too much just because she's projecting to be like 20% owned. And I think for 7,600, like a knockout or bust option like her, the holes in her wrestling and grappling game are so massive that, like, I think Edwards has like such a real path to absolutely smashing on the ground with or without a finish. My only hang up with Edwards is that she is going to be really popular. She's going to be around like 30%. Yeah. And at her price, I would usually like to see a better finishing number. And there are more potent finishers priced above her, but man, she's got so much upside on the ground that I'm gonna try to. This is chalk that I would really, really like to eat. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to, but I don't know. I've been backing Jocelyn Edwards now, and she's been getting really soft matchups. This is a tougher matchup than she's been getting, and where she's been taking advantage of soft matchups, getting finishes, coming in overweight. I think she actually missed weight the first time this time around as well. So she's gonna come in there big. So. I'm expecting
she's been struggling with the weight for a while.
Yeah. And I mean, she is, she's a primary striker. She came in as more of a one-dimensional boxer. So even if this stays on the feet, if she can avoid the power shot, she throws decent volume, and Cachoeira is just an absolute punching bag. So, I'm always going to want to back a fighter that's going up against someone who's as defensively void as Cachoeira is.
Yeah. One thing now, I do think that Edwards has the ability to finish this fight, but I will say, I wish there was a fight time on pick six, because I would like the fight time over if we got like a decent number. I don't see them with a fight time though, and there's no takedown line. 6.5 minutes of control time, even though she has the ability. If she can get her down to hold her down, that's a lot. That's a lot for Jocelyn Edwards. So I don't love that. Significant strikes, Dan. I mean, like, could she go under on significant strikes? I could see that. I mean, do you see anything you love from a pick six?
Not really, but I mean, I think Edwards wins. I think she rolls. So I would take the over on fantasy points. Like, if I think she wins, she's just destroying Cachoeira on the ground. And
okay, all right.
Cachoeira, she can absolutely take a beating.
She can.
So
That's why I wanted the fight time, because if they laid out like a like a 1.5 fight time, I would definitely take the over or something like that. But
yeah, Ketchware has never been knocked out, which is actually astounding considering she blocks punches with her face.
Well, that's why I like the submission finish plus 330 on DraftKings. Unless you want to just do the inside the distance at plus 175, I don't mind that either. But plus 330 if you want a little more, I don't mind that here. But yeah, I think everything else we're on the same page with. Guys, if you have any questions, you can always throw them in the chat. We'll try and get to them as we keep rolling through. And like we said before, Rump Your Sports, we got you covered, all sports, not just MMA. We got the full packages. We do have single sport, though, for specific sports like NFL, which is up on the site now. So if you're into NFL, if you're into all sports, all DFS sports, betting in general, got a betting channel as well with bets being placed every day. You can check us out, get the full package, the premium package, and join us. Get in the Discord, though. Very important you guys get in the Discord because there's just so much information in there, last-minute stuff with certain sports. Like preseason news is very critical. You got to know certain things can change very fast. So that's why it's really important you're in the Discord. And like I've said before, it's not just us in there that you can ask questions to, but there's other sharp members you can talk sports with, talk ball with. It's just a great time. So join us, rumpyoursports.com. Let's keep it moving, though. Next fight on the card, we've got Elijah Smith, 9,300 Elijah Smith versus, Dan Kazama? Did I say that name right? Toshima. Yeah. Or Toshiyama. How do you say it?
Toshiomi?
Looks Toshiomi.
Like Okay. You were close. You were really close.
Honestly, I thought I was going to straight butcher the name, and I did not straight butcher the name, but I was closer than I thought because I'm a 6,900 on DraftKings. Elijah Smith, just another massive favorite, minus 800 here on this card. Dan, I'll let you start on this one first. What do you like with Smith and Kazama?
Yeah, I mean, this is just another one where, I'm not necessarily completely sold on Smith, but Kazama, he's just going to be at such a physicality and size disadvantage. Last time we faded Smith last time out, and his inside the distance number was, I believe it was like plus 400 or something like that. But this time around, it's minus 315, and that just speaks to Kazama, who he can be he's knocked down and knocked out, or he's at least knocked down in every one of his fights. So his durability is terrible. And, while Smith, he doesn't really strike with that much volume, he definitely is explosive and powerful, and that the striking is a work in progress. So he's young, should be improving every time we see him. I think it's I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to come out here and test his hands. You see that a lot with wrestler versus wrestler, although I think if Smith wants to take this to the ground too, he really shouldn't have too much trouble. He's just going to be so much bigger and so much more physical than Kazama. On the other side, 6,900, I just don't see how Kazama wins this fight. I really don't have much interest in him whatsoever. He's got some theoretical grappling upside because he's got some low-level submission wins, but it's totally not outside of the realm of possibility that he could just snatch up a neck or an arm or a leg. It can happen, but it's not something that I'm going to be too heavily invested in. I'll actually probably have around 20% of Kazama. At least that's what I'm getting right now. Maybe I'll trim that down. And I'm getting a ton of Smith as well.
Yeah, I just worry about the size and strength, physicality of Smith, just being able to outmatch Kazama in the positions they get in. And I think also you got to remember with him, he's going to want to get to his grappling. I don't think he's going to have success, though, getting there. Smith is just a really good wrestler, picks his shots well, too. He's not just going to go out there and be wild. And he takes his time. He seems very calm in there for the most part, and has really good wrestling. So one thing I do like is the control time. 1.5 minutes for Smith. I mean, if he gets him down, he might get that just in one takedown. He might get it. He's got nice control when they're on the ground. He's got solid takedowns. And like I said, I think Kazama might end up being a little more accepting of it so he can get to his grappling, try and win a scramble or something like that, right, Dan, where he gets to his. So I kind of like the over on control time at 1.5 minutes.
I like the under on significant strikes for Smith. I'm not sure Kazama can eat 30 significant strikes even.
You like the under too? Okay.
On the significant strikes, yeah.
We could throw that in there. We'll throw that in there right now. Justin Sports says Fluffy and Smith in cash ? Dan, if you were playing cash, would Fluffy Smith be the route?
Let me just run an optimal real quick. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
There we go.
Jeff asks, when is the football show? Football show will be tomorrow. We got so many sports right now. You got to remember, like NASCAR, MMA. There's dual slates for football. The content's up. The content will be up for the dual slates. You got the 2-gamer going at 1, and then you've got the main slate later on tonight. So they'll have content for both slates. The projections and everything will be up on the site. So that's another reason to be a member. Football show will be tomorrow, though, probably 10 a.m. Eastern, Jeff, for tomorrow's slate on Sunday. So yeah, none today. We'll have the content though up on the site for all the members. Appreciate you watching. And then Jimmy B saying, impressive to see the positive progression of JSU's vocabulary pronunciations over the past few years on these shows. Appreciate you, Jimmy. Dan, did you run that?
Yeah, I ran it. I really wasn't getting much at the top. So I also locked Hernandez and DOLIDZE because I'm assuming that that's always the move in cash. I really don't play much cash either, but looks like again Urseg, Hernandez, Edwards. You can fill in the rest.
I was gonna say, I feel like you'd be getting Edwards or Fernandez in the optimal.
Yep, you're getting both of them in the first.
So yeah, I mean that's probably where I think Justin Sports. I think what's gonna happen is like the optimals. You're gonna see less of the 9K guys than you think because everyone doesn't want the cheap dogs. They want to get more of a floor with like the mid-tier priced dogs. So, as opposed to having like a Kazama in their lineup or who's another like 6,900 or 6K type fighter.
Sequeira.
Yeah, Sequeira. As opposed to having them, they've got Urbina or Miles Johns or, Cachoeira, like something like that. So I think that's probably more what you're going to see today because I don't think many people are very confident in really any of these dogs, to be honest with you. Like, yeah, I think there's like one or two that are the clear best maybe, but I don't think many people are super confident in the dogs in general outside of the 5-round fight dog.
Yeah, no, I mean like the best values on like the money lines for cash are definitely Urseg, Fernandez, Edwards. You've got the 5-rounder that you get a lock. Then you just fill in one more spot. Seems like kind of a clear cash, actually.
It definitely seems like a clear cash route for sure. If you want to be different, like that's when you start jamming the 9K guys and fading the mid-tier 8K guy. That's how to be different. Like if you're looking at tournaments.
Yeah, cash you really just want like as much win equity as you can get. So I'd be looking at the better values. Like you mentioned Johns before too. Anybody that the line is like moving heavily towards, that would be my guess for cash.
But like JBC talks about it all the time. Like no one wants to play the 6K range. So like playing one of those guys in tournaments and playing the 9K fighters instead of the mid-tier 8K fighters is going to be somewhat unique if you're playing in like GPPs. So
yeah, GPP, I'm not avoiding the mid-range, but I'm definitely heavier on the ends of salary, the top.
Yeah, because you're just looking for the outcome where your 6K fighter, like one of those guys does hit and has a massive score and he's like 10%, right? So you're just looking for that, big outcome, even if it's only in your mind like a 10% chance that you have of winning. If it does hit, like it's a fight. Like we always say, like it's a fight at the end of the day. Anything can happen. Guy can go out there, throw one kick and break his leg. Like, and that's your favorite. So, and then he gets ground and pounded and lose. So that just happens. It's fighting. It is what it is. But all right, that's Smith and Kazama. I don't think we have anything else. I mean, it's a fight. I probably will be less than the field on Smith and Kazama. I think in general, at least for me, Dan, I don't know about you from the DFS standpoint. It's just a fight that I could see. I could see them, like it going past the first round to where like maybe Smith gets a second round finish, or maybe Kazama's lasting a little longer than we'd like in general.
Yeah, Smith. We're about to get to Walker. I prefer Walker to Smith. So I'll have more of him just because Walker, he just produces more offense.
And his opponent is way better for DFS.
Yeah, way, way better. So I like Smith. Obviously, it's a pretty soft matchup, but Julius Walker priced directly above him is going to get most of my ownership here. And Kazama, man, it's like I really try not to ignore what my stuff wants me to do, but it's giving me a bunch of Kazama, and I just don't. I'm not sure I agree with that. I just don't see how he overcomes the physical disadvantages here.
Yeah. All right. Let's move to that fight, Dan, that you just brought up. Julius Walker, 9,400 on DraftKings versus Rafael Sequeira. Sequeira, 6,800 on DraftKings, and a big underdog at plus 490 on DK Sportsbook. Julius Walker sitting at minus 675. Just a reminder, this is his, I think, will be 8th career pro fight, Dan. So Julius Walker still pretty fresh, coming off of his first fight in the UFC. Loss, but fought Menafield, someone who's has a few more fights under his belt, everything like that. Now he gets Sequeira, who's been losing in the first round his last 2 fights to guys like Modestas Bukauskas and Ibu Aslan. So what are we doing with this fight, Dan? You got a guy who's losing in the first round to really not that great of fighters, and a guy that's very fresh as a massive favorite. Yeah,
I mean, Walker, he's going to be the same ownership as Smith for about 100 more, and I just think he's just like far and away the better play. Sequeira, if you're getting knocked out in the first round by Modestas Bukauskas, like, you've got a problem. If you're shelling up and eating a 28 punch combination from Ibu Aslan, like, you've got major problems. I've seen people surmise that this guy's record is completely fraudulent because the fights that he has listed on Tapology say, like, you can't find film on any of them. What is this even called? Demo Fight 19. What the fuck?
Yeah, they're not real. They're not real, Dan.
Yeah, exactly. So, this guy should not be here. I don't know how he weaseled his way into the UFC, but I feel like Julius Walker is going to send him packing. He fought admirably in the Menafield fight. He quits. Yeah, I mean, I have no idea why he's here. He's here to get a check, I guess. Yeah, that's really what it comes down to, man. Sequeira, he's got nothing. I mean, he's a base grappler, so kind of similar to Kazama, he could snatch up an arm or a neck randomly. He's going to be 9%. He's 6,800. So I'm going to sprinkle him in just because, like you mentioned, Walker is pretty inexperienced and still green. But Walker's probably my favorite play on the slate. That's not Anthony Hernandez. I'm going to play a ton of him.
Yeah, I mean, to make the case against Walker, it would literally just be he's only got 7 career fights in his pro record. And obviously his last fight was to one of the better guys he's fought, and he did lose. Before that, his level of competition wasn't amazing. So I know we're talking about Sequeira also and his level of competition, but we're not saying Julius Walker's fighting, killers in his other 6 fights. So just to throw that out there, I mean, that would be the case to make if you want to sprinkle Sequeira in there, 6,800. I got no issue with it. I think this fight ends early, though. I like the under. And I do think Julius Walker does find a finish at some point. From a pick 6 perspective, though, let's look at it real quick, Dan. So Walker's line on fantasy points is 101.5. I think that's very fair. Honestly, I think that's a good, solid line.
I take more.
You take the more. I was going to ask on the significant strikes. I kind of like the 22 significant strikes. Do you not like that?
No, yeah, I think you could take more on that too. Like, I mean, Sakura will just shell up and eat a bunch of punches. So, like,
just
I
eat
think
punches. That's what we want.
He ate a 28 punch combination from Ebo. Like,
yes,
he's not defending shit, but I think he can at least survive long enough to absorb more than 22 6 strikes.
that's kind of what I'm thinking too. So we'll go with the more there. I like that.
Is Jason Herzog reffing?
Oh, I don't know. That's honestly, that's a big thing too. Because if he is, I feel way more comfortable about this. Way more comfortable.
When do we find out who's reffing which fight? Because I want to. Anytime I find out Jason Herzog is reffing a fight, you just got to smash the over on significant strikes for both guys.
Yeah,
right?
just the easiest one ever. Like, unless the guy is like legit sleeping and you can't even sometimes count that, because sometimes they'll be sleeping, one punch and they'll wake back up and then they'll come back up. And then Herzog's like, oh, he's alive. Hit him again.
Guy starts having a seizure. Herzog's like, I saw movement. He's
unreal.
Good. It's
unreal. That was so bad. Like, how do you not fire that guy after that? There's a horrible refs. Listen, refs everywhere for just like poor performances. They should lose checks.
Very Hadley, man.
If they're not getting fired, they should lose checks. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, you have a bad performance, like you do bad at your job, you shouldn't make what you normally make. That's just what happens. Like, if you're a ref, you should get some money taken away for having that bad of a performance. Like, that was that bad too. We're not like sugarcoating it at all. Like, that was horrible.
No, yeah, this is a UFC record for knockdowns. What is it, like 7, 8 knockdowns? That's so bad, man. That's so
ridiculous. All right. Yeah, that was a easy fight to kind of break down and get through right there. Next fight on the card, CLD, Christopher Leroy Duncan. Duncan 9,200 coming off of a decision win against Pulev, who we just saw get a nice finish last time out, versus Eric Anders, 7K on DraftKings here. Also coming off a win versus Chris Weidman, a finish, just 115, snapping the slate in half at 8,200 last time out, Dan, for Eric Anders.
Yeah, that was tilting.
Honestly, Eric Anders, like in his last 5 fights, even in the losses, he's been somewhat durable, Dan, going to decisions. I'm not saying he's the greatest fighter in the world. He hasn't fought like crazy high level of competition. I think Duncan's going to be probably the most skilled fighter he's fought in a while, but especially on the feet. But I do think Anders could last a little bit more. So I kind of liked like the CLD round 2 or 3 knockout. Someone posted it in our chat. I forget who it was, or I'd give them credit for putting it out there first. But let's see here. His second round KO is plus 600. Third round 11-1 on DraftKings Sportsbook. I like those odds for CLD.
Yeah, I've never been a big CLD guy, and like that is like that touches on it, right? He has no urgency. He's just like he's super content to just kind of cruise to a win. Yeah, just not a big CLD guy. Like he should. I think Anders his durability has held up somewhat, but like he's getting dropped by Kyle Dawkins, Marc-Andre Barrio, Jamie Pickett, the ghost of Chris Weidman. Granted, he came back to win 3 or 4 of those fights, which is great, but like you can't be getting dropped by guys like this in the first place. CLD has more power than all those guys I just listed. For as much as I hate his pace and lack of urgency, I'm still not going to be getting to much CLD though. Like he's got one of the weaker finishing numbers up here in this 9K range. And yeah, I just don't like him, man. He just doesn't score. I hate these guys who just don't go for the finish at all. And that's
my bad, DFS Savant. I think I'm a little mad that I bet on Chris Weidman last time out. So I think I'm a little mad still about that fight, but my bad. Sorry for hating on your former champ from New York.
His retirement fight. Speaking of, this is Eric Anders' retirement fight, which is like another thing. why I can't. I don't, as much as I don't like CLD. It doesn't really. I think CLD still wins. There's just nothing I really like about what Anders brings to the table, and I really hate backing fighters who announce ahead of time that it's their retirement fight. I had a note from the last time I broke down Anders that like he had an eye towards retirement, and I don't know where I picked that up from, but like obviously this is something that's been on his mind for a minute, and I'm just not in the business of backing guys who have one foot out the door.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm with you. I'm proud. I'm just going to be low on this fight in general. So, you know, if Duncan goes out there and knocks him out early, that's not going to be good for my DFS lineups or my bet, because I'm probably going to bet second or third round KO. That's probably the way I'm going to go. So, yeah, that won't bode well for me if he gets an early finish here. The pick six line, man.
I mean, if CLD actually, like, this is the one caveat, like, I'm not going to completely fade him. I'm still going to play some of him just because, like, if he actually tries to get a finish, I think he can do it fairly easily. Anders is really hittable, and we listed off the guys he's been dropped by. Like, CLD, I think CLD quick win bonus would even be on the table if he cared enough to pursue it, but we just can't project that for him ever.
Do you like the under on significant strikes? Because it kind of sounds like you.
Yeah, 62.5. I would take under on significant strikes on Duncan for sure.
Yeah, you like that one?
Yeah, I mean, I think he can go under 62 significant strikes in a decision, let alone.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. Or I think it'd be like really close in a decision. Like if we lose, it'll be like by like a strike or two in a decision. Like I don't. And he could go under it in a decision. I agree with you 100%. So, and if we get a knockout in the first or second round, he's definitely going under it. So
exactly.
Yeah.
We got multiple paths to the under there.
I like that. All right. Anything else here? Shout out to my guy Binair. He's finally here. I told him he's right on time. He really wasn't right on time. He was fucking late. I mean, like, you missed half the show, Binair, but that's okay because you're here now. And you can hit the like button for us now. We appreciate that being there. And anybody else out there that wants to hit the like button. Let's go to the next fight on the card. We've got Gene Matsumoto and Miles Johns. Matsumoto 8,500. Miles Johns 7,700. And the line is moving in the Johns' favor right now. It's down to plus 190 on DraftKings Sportsbook, Dan. Gene Matsumoto sitting at minus 230. And he was up. Was he like plus 250 a day or two ago? Like, he was up there. I forget how high he was exactly, Miles Johns, but he was up there, and the line seems to be dropping in his favor. You could tell me exactly in a sec, but I think with the line movement, I do think coming into the fight, I thought, like, I'm not like a huge fan of Miles Johns. I don't love the way he fights. He kind of just throws with like massive power. It's not always super accurate, looking for big shots. And then he'll look to wrestle randomly at times. And then some fights he won't wrestle at all. It's kind of weird. He does have wrestling. He doesn't have great control though if he gets you down. So like you can get up. But he can implement wrestling when he wants to. He does get tired though. And I remember listening, they were talking about it, how he throws so heavy at times, because he tries to put like 100% into a lot of his big strikes, and it kind of gasses him out. And then he'll like start wrestling, but he's tired. So like wrestling when you're tired is like the worst thing ever, or like grappling. So it's interesting because Gene Matsumoto, I think, is more talented. He is hittable though, Matsumoto. So like, I can see where this fight could be closer than a lot of people think. And I did pick Johns from a betting standpoint, at plus 200 or whatever he was when I got him. Like, I'll take my shot. I think it's a close fight, Dan. I think this fight does go to decision. If Gene Matsumoto gets him down, though, I do think he's got the better grappling. So I do think if one guy could control the other on the ground, it would be Gene controlling Miles Johns on the ground. I don't think Miles Johns could like control Gene Matsumoto on the ground for long periods of time. But I do think Matsumoto could control Johns. So I think decision fight here. The only way it scores well for Matsumoto is probably takedowns. He got 7 in a loss last time out against Rob Font. So if he gets 7 in a win, Dan, he probably scores pretty well, even in a decision.
Yeah, probably. I think that performance is probably more of an outlier as well, though. Rob Font, the book's kind of out on him in terms of his grappling and wrestling defense. He has none. So he was pretty much able to take Font down at will. But like you touched on, not great control, which it significantly ups your wrestling upside when you shoot takedowns but can't control anybody. So I definitely see some validity there for Matsumoto, but this is like a significantly tougher matchup in the wrestling and grappling. Miles Johns' grappling and wrestling defense is pretty rock solid. I wasn't on Matsumoto last time out. I'm still not on him here. He's projecting to be pretty popular. I mean, 25%, considering his inside the distance line is plus 274, especially with this steam coming in on Johns. Like, this line has moved 50 cents in the last day in Johns' favor. So 7,700 for Johns is pretty expensive for him, but there's definitely wrestling and grappling upside there on his side. Like, if he wins, it's definitely going to come with takedowns, control, plenty of grappling. So I'm going to be buying in on to John's side here. What looks to be some of the lowest ownership on the slate. That probably doesn't hold with the steam, because I've got him at 17 now. I would imagine with the steam, he'll probably come in somewhere around the 20s, but I still really like him in this spot, and I definitely prefer him over Matsumoto.
Well, Dan, we always say like styles make fights a lot of times, but people are going to look at Miles Johns' wins in decisions and be like, oh, he scores like shit even when he wins. I do think, though, he's fighting someone who's going to give him a good fight. Like, Gene Matsumoto is not just going to, like stand on the outside. And no. That dude is going to go forward and he's going to make it a fight. So I think Miles Johns, if he wins, he has a good chance of actually scoring much better than normal in a decision, because Matsumoto is going to push a pace on him. The only way he doesn't is if there's just a ton of takedowns and he just can't strike because he's just defending takedowns or something like that. But like you said, he's got a little better takedown defense, and we'll see what happens. But from a striking standpoint, this is a massive drop down in competition from Rob Font to Miles Johns. I will just make sure I throw that out there, because Rob Font is really fucking good.
Definitely. That's definitely true. But if Matsumoto can't get his wrestling or grappling going, he's not going to score at all.
Yeah.
I don't get in the finish either. I don't think Johns has ever. I think he's been knocked out maybe once. Let's see.
He's been subbed. He's been subbed. I know that.
Yeah, he's been subbed once, and he's knocked out once by a flying knee from Mario Batista. So
that's right. That's right.
Yeah. You get hit in the face with a knee, you're going down no matter who you are.
That can happen. But it sounds like me and you are both higher on Johns, a little lower on Matsumoto here. We'll see if that bites us in the ass. I do like that, though. And then for pick 6, I don't know if you see anything you like. I mean, the takedown line for Matsumoto seems kind of low at 1.5. I know we said Miles Johns is that seems kind of low.
I like more for the control time on Johns, 1.5 minutes.
You like the more on Miles Johns. I think he's got such bad control, but I could see him getting 1.5 minutes. I like that. I can roll with that.
10 takedowns.
Yeah, literally, and like holding him up against the cage, trying to get the takedown for like.
Yeah, right. They count the cage control for that as well. So
which he does do a good amount. So I could see him getting there just on the cage control, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, that's Matsumoto and Johns here. Get to the next fight. We got C-Rod versus Andre Fili. Fili 7,800, C-Rod 8,400 on DraftKings. C-Rod sitting at minus 245 favorite to Andre Fili here. I think C-Rod's pressure is going to be the biggest thing in this fight, just like his pace, his pressure, kind of staying in this dude's face, not letting him just stay at range and have like a striking match, which is what Fili kind of wants. And I think C-Rod just overwhelms him. The question is, does he finish him? I don't know if he finishes him. I think he does have a chance, though, because Fili does tend to get dropped at times. So I could see like a club and sub from someone like C-Rod here. So I'm on the C-Rod side. I still haven't figured out if I want to bet the inside the distance, though. Right now it's sitting at, where is that at? Plus 240 on DraftKings. I'll say I'm pondering it right now, Dan. I'm pondering it with C-Rod.
It's like plus 200 elsewhere. So that plus 240 number is a good number for us.
DK Sportsbook.
Hashtag DK Sportsbook. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to be on the C-Rod side just because he's given up quite a bit of size and physicality here, but you know, he's just like, he's one of those guys who's like, he's a super gritty fighter, you know, he doesn't go away. Like you said, he's going to forward pressure. And I think there's just two guys who are on opposite trajectories right now. Feely lately has really not looked very good. He doesn't really even look like he wants to be there. His wrestling and grappling defense has looked really rough. He seemed to quit last time out when he got really quickly gillied. That was a really bad look. Money's been coming in on C-Rod. Feely just isn't someone I want to target because all he wants to do is stand and strike. I mean, I think if he wanted to get some wrestling and grappling going, that he could take advantage of C-Rod's, you know, the size disadvantage. And C-Rod's wrestling and grappling defense isn't exactly stellar, but you really just can't trust Feely to go out there and do that. So I'm going to be lower on Feely. He's projecting to be about 20%. I'm definitely coming in under on that. And Rodriguez, I really wasn't expecting this, but I'm actually getting a getting a moderate amount of him. He's projected to come in 24. I'm coming in around that. I'm happy with that, man. I don't think he's going to get a finish, but again, Feely has looked pretty bad. But I also think that there's plenty of wrestling and grappling upside here, should he choose to pursue that path.
Dan says he's not getting a finish. JSU's like, that's it. I'm betting the sub number at plus 450. Fuck it.
Rodriguez,
Rod. Yeah, a little sub action here. Michael says prospect killer, not fighting a prospect. This is the time. All right, like that. Also asked, any worry about John's getting his back pinned to the cage for minutes at a time? I mean, worried about control pretty much for Gene. I mean, like both these guys could like do that for minutes at a time, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm lower on this matchup overall. John's is more in play due to price, but like, yeah, I'm worried about both of these guys losing minutes, getting controlled.
Yeah.
Less so about John's though, just because he is much better defensively. And I've seen Matsumoto get controlled for long stretches.
I worry about John's when he gets tired. That's when I worry about John's. Like when he starts to get.
Hopefully he's back on the juice.
Well, that's what we need him to be.
Hopefully he's back on the juice and he won't get tired.
Yeah, hopefully.
Maybe that's what that late line movement is about. Someone got wind that he's back on the juice.
You know, being there, this is the opposite. We're locking in right now on Miles Johns. That's what this is saying right now. Getting back control. Get out of here, Beanair. All right. Next fight here. Did we go through C-Rod real quick? No, let's go through their pick six. See if we like anything. C-Rod fantasy points 79.5. Feely significant strikes 52.5. Significant strikes for C-Rod 58.5. Control time 4.5 minutes. I do think he could get that.
I wish I could just do under on every single one that doesn't have the under option. I just want to hit under on, and that's kind of all I see here.
Yeah, I don't like anything. I don't like anything, honestly.
I guess you do more on fantasy points. I still don't like it.
I don't trust it. A decision, we could get screwed, get like 75.
Yeah, there's not much here from a pick six perspective.
K. Felix Burrs, my girlfriend loves it. I take her back. Boy, K. Felix. Love that. All right, let's go move to the next fight. Dog fight here. Angie Hill coming in, a plus 140 underdog. This line has moved towards Miss Angela Hill. It was plus 160 yesterday when I bet it, I think, or plus 160 or plus 170. So this has moved a decent amount on DraftKings Sportsbook. Yasmin Lucindo minus 166 on DK Sportsbook. Lucindo 8,300. Hill 7,900 on DraftKings. Dan, I like Angela Hill just because, like, I know she's going to fight for my money, and I just watched Lucinda last time out against someone we don't really recognize as like a grappler, just out-grapple and wrestle her for 2 of the 3 rounds. Lucinda did show in the 3rd round, like, if she can get them down, she can control them, but you got to get them down. You got to get the takedowns first before you can get to your grappling. You got to get there. And she struggles in that area. You know what I mean? She wants to bully you. Angela Hill is just a tough girl. I think she's going to, push a pace. Maybe Lucindo gets a little tired later in the fight. I think the scrambles will be interesting too, because Angela Hill, she's gotten a lot better. And even though she's older, she can still scramble and stay in your face for 3 rounds. And don't forget too, Limoges, I mean, I don't think she's 40, but she's getting up there in age too. So she just lost to a girl that was older, like Angela Hill. So I'm on the Angela Hill side. I like it. I think Lucindo, even in a win, could kind of score like shit, because I think it could be like a split decision type win. So I'll take the cheaper fighter, and I'll take the dog money or dog price on DraftKings Sportsbook for the bet. Where are you at on this fight, Dan?
Yeah, I keep backing Lucindo because on the regionals, she hasn't shown in the UFC what she showed on regionals. And it's like she used to, she'd get you down to the ground. She'd ground and pound you. She used to get finishes. She used to just be so much more active in top positions. And she's really just like failed to put it all together. And we talk about it all the time with people who like wrestle and grapple but don't throw striking volume. It severely caps your ceiling. So she's failed to get over 100 points in any of her wins in the UFC. She gets another, and she got out grappled by Lemos. Like, Lemos is that was a pretty massive step up competition in Lucindo. I believe Lucindo is, she's 23. She's the youngest girl on the roster, so she's got a long way to go. Angela Hill, though, can be taken down. She can be controlled. So I think if Lucindo has been, I mean, you would expect someone as young as her to be improving every time you see her. So I think here she does have a legitimate path to absolutely smash on the ground with or without a finish, especially at 8,300. It's just, I'm never going to count Angela Hill out. It's like you talked about it. Even at 40 years old, she's learning new things. She just recently, a couple fights back, picked up her first submission win. She's been wrestling more. She throws great volume, and at 7,900, we know how women's fights are scored. It's like, on paper, the finishing odds are terrible. They don't rate out well, but it's like you said, this is going to be up in pace because both of these girls push pace. Plenty of wrestling and grappling. This could be one of those women's fights that, like, by the end of it, JBC is in chat raging that Yasmin Lucindo has 30 first-round points. Like, how the fuck did that happen, So and Lucindo's only 20% owned. I think she has more scoring potential. I'm going to keep going for her, like, scoring potential that she has not shown in the UFC yet, because she's only 20% owned, and just another one of these plays that I think is going to be pretty crucial to getting different on this slate.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, again, that was a massive step up in competition her last time out. Before that, I thought it was a pretty close fight with Marina Rodriguez. She did win. I thought it was pretty close. And Marina, you can get down pretty easily and stuff like that, control. But one thing I didn't like about Lucinda last fight, even though it was the step up, was when she got taken down, she got controlled. Like, it felt pretty easily she got controlled. So, like, if Angela Hill can get her down once, Dan, we might get this 2.5 minutes of control right there. So I kind of like that from a pick six side. Like, 2.5 minutes of control feels interesting. Someone put in the chat Hill over 1 takedown. She could get 1 takedown for sure. I mean, absolutely. I don't know if she's going to be the one pushing for the takedowns, but she could just get it in the scrum of Lucinda pushing for takedowns. And you know what I mean? So I definitely think that's in the cards. I like the control time, 2.5 minutes for Hill over or more than on DraftKings. Dan, I assume you like, I kind of like the less on significant strikes too for Lucindo, just because I think there will be a good amount of grappling here and stuff like that. So I kind of like the under on Lucindo significant strikes. Dan, do you like anything here?
No, just that the under on the significant strikes.
Is that your favorite, or is Hill your favorite control time? Which one's your favorite? If you had to pick one.
Probably the under significant strikes. It's been her
I
strike.
think the under significant strikes is a good one. Yeah, I like that one. I think there's multiple paths to get there too. So, yeah.
DFS wise, I'm hoping that she finally like lets her hands go a little bit more, like she was on.
Well, she definitely has the power, and Angela Hill will like get in your face. So she has the opportunity to use her hands and show off the power advantage if she wants, because Angela Hill is going to move forward. She's not going to be, moving back a ton. She's going to move forward. So, yep, that's Hill, Lucindo. Sounds like Dan's a little higher on Lucindo from a DFS side than me. 2 more fights left on the card. We appreciate you guys watching. Hit the like button on the video. Subscribe to the Run Pure Sports YouTube channel. Check us out. All the packages we've got over at runpuresports.com. Try it out. JBC 100K win is still available for anyone new who wants to try it out for a week. You get a free week with any monthly subscription at all on the website. JBC 100K win gets you a free week. For any new people out there that want to try it out for the first time, use that promo code and you get a free week with any monthly subscription. And make sure you get in the Discord as well. 2 more fights left. Let's go to the second to last fight. Steve Erceg, 9,100 on DraftKings versus Ode Osborne. Osborne coming off of a big knockout win, in the second round. I know JBC was all over that fight. He loved Osborne. He loved him by finish too, I think. He crushed. 8,800 for 7,300. That's pretty solid, but get the inside the distance, which was the most important thing. Now he gets a pretty big step up in Steve Erceg. So he goes, has fought guys like Erceg before in his career. He's lost to the majority of them when he gets this big step up, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
And, his whole thing is just the grappling holes, like grappling and wrestling. If he can stuff the takedowns, he's a good striker and he's got power and he's accurate too when he strikes. So he can put the lights out of a lot of these guys. He could put the lights out of Steve Erceg. I just think Steve Erceg's grappling is super. It might be underrated from the standpoint that he doesn't use it a lot. So people don't even realize that he's really good at it. And I would expect the game plan is to use the grappling here in this matchup. So I think that's what happens. I think Steve Erceg gets to the grappling early or the middle of the fight, and he probably takes his back at some point, possibly gets the submission. So I kind of like Steve Erceg by submission. But if Ode does stuff the takedowns and can keep this on the feet, this is a much closer fight, in my opinion. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I think this is one of the better fights on the slate to target. You touched on Ode Osborne's power. We've seen Erceg, hurt and knocked out before. Like Kai France knocked him out with the quickness, which is a pretty bad look, I think. So Ode, he's got quick hands. He's got power. He's got all the physical, he possesses all the skills and tools to knock Erceg out. It's just, can he keep the fight standing, which is what you touched on. And honestly, I'm not even that confident that Erceg is going to necessarily pursue the wrestling and grappling, because his wrestling has largely been shut down in the UFC, and he kind of seems like he's pretty content to just stand and strike. But regardless of that, his inside the distance line of -147, that's one of the strong. It's probably the strongest inside the distance lines we've gotten for Erceg, and at 9,100. The ownership is going to be there, but I'm still getting a good amount of him regardless, just because Osborne has definitely showed some questionable durability in the past. It's not, let's see where this line, Yeah, it's minus 220 to end inside the distance, which is pretty strong for a flyweight fight. I like both sides of this fight, man. I think Osborne can definitely keep it competitive on the feet. I think Urseg obviously has passed to a finish. Just play both sides, hope for violence.
Yeah, I just think we got to remember, like, Urseg's last 3 fights are to Brandon Moreno, Kai Kara-France, and Alessandro Pantoja. So
yeah, he needs a win, man.
But I'm just saying, like, those are 3 of the best fighters in the division, and he just went through them 1, 2, 3. Obviously, he lost all of them, but like, we got to keep that in mind. Like, he's going from fighting those guys, 2 of them which went all 5 rounds. One of them being the champion, and then the other one he just got caught and finished really early. So we don't know, like, if that fight went a little longer, how it would have played out. Whatever, doesn't matter. But I'm just saying, like, he went 5 rounds with 2 of the other guys, and they're 2 of the top contenders in the division. So, well, one's the champ and the other one's a top contender. So I think we got to keep that in mind, saying, like, okay, now we're going back to Ode Osborne type guys, who's probably better than the, like the Matt Schnell, but he's not in the Pantoja, Kai Kara-France, Brandon Moreno range, like, at all.
No, not even close. Not even close. So, I mean, I hope Urseg rolls here, because I don't know what he's gonna do if he loses to this.
Well, the problem with Urseg was I feel like they just rolled him out too quickly.
Way too quickly. Quickly.
Don't you feel that way? Like, it just felt like, I know they needed someone in the Pantoja fight, and he stepped up and he was awesome, right? He almost won the fight. Like, arguably, people still to this day will say he did win. Some people, but
not for that takedown attempt at the end. He was, he was on track to win. He was on track to win. So,
and I just put the promo in the chat for anyone wondering. And if you have any issues with the promo, you can email us info@rumpuresports.com if you have any issues with the promo, or DM our account on Twitter @rumpuresports on Twitter as well. But yeah, I'm going. I think Urseg gets back. I don't think he has an issue. I'm the opposite of you. I think he can get to his grappling here. The level of competition has been massive, so getting takedowns and stuff against these type of top guys is totally different than Ode Osborne. So that's why, and I like the 1.5-minute control time. I think is the play. That's just, I mean, he gets him down once, he's probably going to take his back, so he'll get the 1.5 minutes right there. Because no matter what you want to say, like, what we've seen of his grappling has been pretty good when he does grapple, like when he's offensively grappling. So, yeah, I like Urseg. Probably not as high on Urseg, though, from a DFS angle, Dan, because I think even if he wins, it could be not as quick and it could be more efficient. So I don't think we get a ton of takedowns. I don't think we get a ton of control time. I think it's, if he gets him down once, it could be over in like 2 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I definitely favor Walker, Smith, Medic, Fernandez, obviously Hernandez. Like, I favor basically everyone over Urseg outside of CLD. CLD is like my least favorite play up here
from a DFS side, right?
Yeah.
Same. I'm with you.
But there's definitely merit to Urseg here. Ode is just so weak on the ground. He's just so poor defensively everywhere, and we talked about it earlier. We talk about it all the time. It's like, I like backing guys and girls who are going against people who just have no defense for obvious reasons.
And you can't, with guys as high level as Urseg, remember the Asu fight where he just gave him his back? Like, you can't just give your back to these guys. Like, they're going to take it very quickly, and then it's a wrap if it's, if they have enough time, down there. So, yeah, you just gotta, but 7,100, I do think from a DFS side, like, his path is KO. That's what I think, so if he wins, I think it's via KO, and
Osborne,
Osborne. So,
but also at his price, if this one extends and goes to decision and Osborne somehow wins a decision, like that'll probably be viable too at 7,100.
100%.
Especially with how weak these dogs are this week.
Yeah, so you do have technically you have two paths. Even though I don't think he wins the decision, you do have two paths.
Decision is a much thinner path, but it's there.
Yeah. Yes, I agree 100%. All right, main fight, last fight on the card, Anthony Hernandez, 8,700 on DraftKings versus Roman DOLIDZE, 7,500. DOLIDZE with 3 wins in a row. Obviously, coming off of the win, I think it was Vettori, and Fluffy coming off of a win against Brendan Allen. He's been on a winning streak too. I mean, I do think this is an interesting matchup from the standpoint that Fluffy always wants to use his pace, his pressure, his cardio as a weapon. He wants to, just kind of gas you out, takedowns, dirty boxing, elbows, stuff like that, get in your face and wear you down. And DOLIDZE has shown that he will get tired. Like, he won't get tired. Like, he'll still fight, but he gets tired. He'll gas out at times when you push pressure on him like that. Honestly, when you make him uncomfortable with the pressure too, which Fluffy does a really good job of doing to most guys. But DOLIDZE does have elite grappling, Dan. So could the elite grappling, the defense kind of keep him safe with Fluffy? It might be able to. So that's the thing is, do we think it's elite enough to keep him standing, and maybe he has a puncher's chance to find a finish earlier in the fight? Because I do think if it goes later, that's advantage Fluffy all day.
Absolutely. Yeah. DOLIDZE will be dangerous early. Just, he's got really crafty grappling off of his back. He can snatch up a sub, but he's also got power in his hands. And Hernandez, obviously the weakest part of his game is his striking. I think he can definitely be hit and hurt. So if DOLIDZE is able to keep it standing and is able to get to his chin, like, I could definitely see the upset in that way. And that would obviously score great at 7,500. Again, at 7,500, 5-round fight, any win for DOLIDZE is probably going to contend really strongly for the optimal. On the other side, though, DOLIDZE, he's got good grappling, but he doesn't have really good wrestling defense. And then he's also got pretty good get up. So this is just like, and he also gets tired towards the end of fights. So it really just sets up for like Hernandez to kind of rinse and repeat takedowns until DOLIDZE gasses later in the fight. And then he gets like a 4th or 5th round finish, which is how I see this playing out. And it's not quite as strong a matchup as he had against Pereira, where he smashed for, I think he scored like 192. He almost scored 200 against Pereira.
Yeah, because Pereira went to 5 rounds, didn't he?
Yeah, or at least, I guess, into the 5th, maybe. I think it wasn't.
It was definitely in the 5th. He got finished in the 5th. That's what it was. He didn't go the full. He got finished in the 5th.
That was another one that could have been stopped way earlier. It's not quite as strong a matchup as that, but I noted going into the Brendan Allen fight that Hernandez really, really smashes when he faces primary strikers, and he has only really ever failed to break 100 points when he fights fellow grapplers like Brendan Allen, Adolfo Vieira. DOLIDZE definitely has some grappling skills, but I would classify him as a primary striker. I don't think Hernandez is going to have any problem taking him down and sort of executing his preferred game plan here. So I think
I think it might be tough early in the fight. Yeah. But as the fight goes on, he's going to wear him down to the point where remember the Kopylov fight? And I'm not comparing Kopylov to DOLIDZE. Obviously, DOLIDZE's grappling is way better. But like that first round, Hernandez pretty much spent like the whole first round just wearing on him. He took a couple shots to the body. He didn't like that from Kopylov. And then he just started like pressing forward and just going for his legs. He's probably going to do that at some point with DOLIDZE, whether it's the first or second round, but more not just about getting the takedowns, more just about wearing on his gas tank. And the more he does that, the more it's going to help him later in the fight. And then he shows like once he gets his hands locked, you're going for a ride. Like that's the thing. So like that was the thing with Kopylov. I do think DOLIDZE has much better defense than Kopylov, but he also, in my opinion, like he has like a overhand right that literally when you fight DOLIDZE, like that's the thing you're worried about, the like massive right. So if you can stay away from that one shot, I don't know, like, yeah, he's got good grappling, but like on the feet, I'm saying, what else are you as worried about? I don't really see it. So I think Fluffy's just going to try and stay away from that, get in his face and get him annoyed and uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I got Fluffy all day here. I'm going 70-30 because DOLIDZE, DOLIDZE has one of the best, or had one of the best since wow, it's really come up. So he's plus 366 to win inside the distance. Not quite as strong as when I first wrote it up. I think he was more like 30% implied to win inside the distance. Now that's dropped down to 20.
Do you think he can win a decision, or do you think it has to be a finish?
I think it has to be a finish. I just don't think he has the gas. Like you said, Hernandez is just going to wear on him. So it's going to have to be a finish in the first. I'll give him the first 3 rounds. Let's say if he can stay alive, like he'll be dangerous into the 3rd round. But I think like 4th, 5th round, if it gets that far, that's when the wheels are really going to start to fall off for DOLIDZE.
Yeah, that's when the Fluffy. That's when Fluffy just looks dominant. And DOLIDZE looks like tired and exhausted.
Yeah, Fluffy's his style is just like tailor-made for DraftKings scoring. Tailor-made for it. So even if it does go the distance, like I think this is just a full smash for Hernandez if he wins.
Yep, I'm with you. I'm going to be jamming Hernandez, but again, I'm not 150. Like you're probably 150, and I'm not 150 in. If you are 150 in,
I'm going to have like 80%.
I was going to say like 70-30 is probably the right route if you want to be more aggressive, 80-20. I think if you're playing 20, it's the same thing. If you want to be aggressive and lock the guy you feel confident in, you can. That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just going to jam Hernandez, but that's the way I look at it. Slapshot says Medic Line's collapsing. DFS Savant says great fucking show. 3-leg parlay for us parlay degens. I love a good parlay, DFS Savant. I will say we might as well just parlay our 2 best bets and then give like a bet that me and you are both on for the 3rd leg, Dan. We'll do a little 3-leg parlay with each of us giving a best bet, and then we'll do a 3rd like combined one that we both can kind of get on with. But from a pick 6 side, Dan, before we get to the best bet segment, we got 6 in. Well, let's see here. Hold on. Do we got 6? So we got Gabby Fernandez under on significant strikes at 48.5. Elijah Smith under 30.5 significant strikes. Julius Walker over on significant strikes at 22.5. CLD Chris Duncan under 62.5 significant strikes. Miles Johns over on control time at 1.5 minutes. And we need one more. Dan, did we like anything in this Fluffy fight, or should we go to a different fight? Because I don't see one I love in this fight, but if you see one, I'm fine clicking it.
Yeah, this one's tough. Let me see what I have for Fluffy's significant strikes.
It's just so tough because if it's going under, if there's a finish early, but if it goes like the distance, he's going over that line.
Yeah, I mean, I've got him projected for like half of the significant strikes.
Do you want to go on? You want to go under?
Under 71.5. Yeah, I just well, let me look at something real quick.
He could go under. I just think he might have to strike more early, while DOLIDZE is kind of
what? It. Let's take the under.
All right. All right. Let's do it. I didn't know if you wanted to go to a different. The Cody Brundage one I had in the other one, but do you like this one more? We'll keep this one. Okay, we like this one. All right, so here's the pick 6, guys. Fernandez under on significant strikes. Smith under on significant strikes. Walker over on significant strikes. CLD under on significant strikes. Miles Johns over on control time, 1.5 minutes. And Anthony Fluffy Hernandez under on 71.5 significant strikes. Throw 100 bones on there. Let's see what we get. 100 to win 15x or more. So we'll see. Hopefully it's the more.
Let's run it
Hopefully
back.
It's the more column. Yes, let's run it back. I will make sure I post this on Twitter.
They're checking your location, making sure you got no Russian fighters.
I'm telling you, every time it's probably gonna not go through the first time, and I'm gonna have to do it again. I've gotten location checked now every single time I do anything.
Gross.
It's crazy. See, look, we can't locate you. Let me look around.
Lone Wolf DFS is asking, can you rate your dogs? Yeah, this is disgusting though. So content advisory here. I've got Urbina ranked my best dog. It goes Urbina, and this is with ownership taken into account, inside the distance, all that good stuff. So just raw rankings, it's Urbina, Sterkiera. That's likely because he's single digit owned. Stolyarenko, Miles Johns, Kazama. This is absolutely disgusting. And of course, that's all after DOLIDZE. DOLIDZE is my number one dog, obviously. I'll probably have him around like 20 to 30. Man, this is a very apexy card, man.
Yeah, looking at my dog exposures, mine is like Angela Hill, Miles Johns, and Gilbert Urbina are like the three guys in DFS I have the most of from a dog perspective.
Getting a good amount of Hill as well. Yeah, she was all the way up there. I was trying to give like some of the cheaper ones.
Yep, those are my three for sure. So all right, pick six is in. Dan, now we got to do the best bet, Dan. So a lot of interesting spots. The lines are kind of caving in on certain spots.
Yeah.
Do you have a bet that you just love?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Miles Johns money line.
It's a good one. I like that one.
I think he's able to stop Matsumoto's wrestling and grappling. Keep it.
All right, so I'm gonna go with. I was going to say Angela Hill, but I think I'm going to go with if you take
Angela Hill would have been my other pick, so that could be the other parlay leg.
We could do Angela Hill, and then I don't know if you like this, Dan, but the Cody Brundage fight, the fighter, either fighter to win via KO in the under 2.5.
Yeah.
It's minus 115. So you go, so let's see what that looks like here. So who was your bet? I'm sorry. Who was your bet?
Miles Johns, money line.
Okay, so Miles Johns, money line. Angela Hill, money line. That's 12 to 1 on DraftKings Sportsbook right now, guys. So if you want that, 12 to 1 right there at DraftKings Sportsbook. I do really think that's a good spot. Nice little. I was seeing if I wanted to add anything else to the mix, but no, I like that. That's a good 12 to 1 parlay, Dan. I think we can get on board with that, right?
Absolutely. Love it.
Love that. All right, so there's the parlay. Again, I'll say it one more time. It's Miles Johns, money line, Angela Hill, money line, and then Cody Brundage in the Eric McConaughey fight. Either fighter to win via KO in the under 2.5. That'll get you 12 to 1 on your money if you want to bet that parlay. I'm going to bet it.
I love it. That's fun.
Bet it right now, and we'll roll with it here. All right, locked in. We're locked in here on the bet. So I'll post that, and I'll post the pick six in the Rumpier Sports Discord and probably on my Twitter at JSURab. Thank you guys so much for watching this show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit the thumbs up on the like if you did. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and check us out at rumpiersports.com. Until next week, good luck in your DraftKings, MMA, DFS, and betting. For Dan and myself, JSU. Catch you guys later. We're out of here. Peace.